Welcome to the Misfit One Lifestyles with Elizabeth Colin. She will awaken and connect with your Misfit One. Are you tired of the ups and downs in your life? Are you ready to live a healthy lifestyle once and for all? We are talking about all aspects of your life. Being fit is not just physical, it's also your mind and soul. Learn how to take steps in your life to move towards your goals. Elizabeth's goal is for everyone listening to the sound of her voice to get fit. Let's get focused, let's get intentional, and let's transform. Now here's your host, Elizabeth Colin.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Misfit One Lifestyles with your girl, Elizabeth Colin, also known as Misfit One. Today's show is all good. Man, this young man is so phenomenal. I cannot wait to share him with you guys. But let me give you a little clue. Whenever I think of martial arts, I think of someone calm but alert, relaxed but ready, smooth but sharp. You know, they hurry, they confident, they have all those things. And you know, when I think of that and look at Mr. Sensei Marquin McDonald, you are all those things, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. And I do my best to be those things. I definitely do.
You are. You know, I love it because it's like, you think of a martial artist, they always like very humble, right? They're very humble, but they're like confident. Like, you know, they're ready at all moments. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't see them, you guys, you know, that smile is everything. You wouldn't even think that he's a 5th degree black belt. Golly, talk to us about that.
Well, I started martial arts when I was 7. My uncle was my first instructor. My mother saw that I had a temper, and what kind of convinced her to get me involved was she saw me get into a scuffle at school, and she saw me get pushed down, and she was like, all right, I got to put my baby in some type of martial art class or something. So my uncle, who was an instructor, he started me at home, and then I moved on, and I never left it. I was always one of those guys, one of those kids that was into the Super Samurai Sunday, you know, shows that came on every Sunday at 12, and
Yes.
Five Deadly Venoms. And then it just stuck with me. Martial arts and football were my 2 sports coming up. And, you know, I just chose to stick to doing martial arts. It was the one thing that sort of brought me a form of relaxation. It brought me a level of confidence. I was a nerd in school. I still am a nerd, you know, a proud nerd. But then I got involved doing competitions, and then I fell in love with it. And also the reason why is that my father, unfortunately, was incarcerated at the time. So my mother was looking for male figures to, you know, surround me with. And she found a few different avenues that she took me down, but the dojo seemed to be the one thing that I really gravitated towards. And the men inside the dojo helped raise me. So that was that balance while my father was in jail.
You know, that's so profound because I put my son and my daughter in martial arts, of course, when they were little. And then I think they got to like orange belt or something like that, you know. They didn't do it too much. It was like, nah. But I used to box. So we like boxing better. First of all, I think I'm a lazy fighter. Like, I don't want to lift my legs up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they fall down, I'll kick them when they're down. But I don't want to have to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's just too much work for me. So
you have a problem with giving them the stump. That's all right. The stump kicks is definitely something we teach.
I'm down on that stump. I've got that. Like, but if I gotta kick you, like, no, you know, I'm short. I don't have those long legs, you know. And so when I was reading all about you, I have so many questions. Like, okay, sensei, what does that mean? What is a sensei?
So sensei means teacher. It's actually a a term. So let me clarify something. In the West, you'll see sensei such and such, like Sensei Mark Quinn or Sensei whoever. But over, in Okinawa or in Japan, one of the systems that I studied was a system that was or originated in Okinawa. Sensei usually comes after your name, and it's something that your peers or your students give you. And so it's a title that just means teacher. Also one of service, and I appreciate it. I generally tell people that they don't have to necessarily call me sensei. I'm called everything from coach to I work in a high school, so they call me Mr. Q. Some of the students call me sensei. Some of them call me Coach Q. But I'm honored by any of those titles. But sensei means teacher. It's something that I did work hard for. It's been, let's see, last August made 35 years. I'm going on 36 years this August. So it's something that I've worked really hard for. This is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I will tell you, it is also one of the best things that I've ever done in my life. As far as stress management, as far as keeping me feeling young, my flexibility, my energy, knowing how to manage and recognize my emotions. So this is a lifestyle. So it's not necessarily a hobby. And by the way, I do box. Boxing is a martial art, so you are a martial artist.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, got my yes indeed. So I do box, and I am a avid boxing fan. I compete in the Golden Gloves here in Chicago. So I love anything dealing with martial arts, from boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's I love it.
That is so important that you said, it was one of the hardest things you've done. Because a lot of times people, get in it. I think of Bruce Lee, right? Remember Bruce Lee was like, but growing up I'm telling my age, but Bruce Lee was like the man back when we was little, you know what I mean? And so we had the nunchucks, and we was trying to do the nunchuck things and all that. What form of martial art is nunchuck stuff? Is it in all of them?
So you can generally, any of the systems that's in Okinawa or Japan, you'll probably come across the nunchucks. Like I have nunchucks here. So we'll have a whole class, pre-COVID, of course. We would have a whole class that would do the nunchucks, would do the bow, which is the long staff. We also had a sword program. So the nunchucks is that. So the nunchucks was my favorite when I was a kid. So I was a Ninja Turtle fan too. So Michelangelo was my favorite Ninja Turtle. And it's funny, I didn't mean that. I'm wearing orange like Mikey right now too.
You representing. Yeah, nunchucks are fun. Even if you like swinging around, you think you're doing something. And I remember my brother used to hit himself a lot. So I would go real slow with my nunchucks. I was like real cautious.
That's me too. Right here. I probably got a star somewhere right now.
That forehead,
right here, and I cut myself in the back of the head.
Yes. So once you watch people get hit so many times with them nunchucks, I want to do it, but I want to go real slow with mine. Like, let me take my time. Let me take my time with it.
Yes, indeed.
And listen, I
know that pain. I'm familiar with that. All so familiar.
Oh yeah, and it's a pain that's sharp, right? It's that sharp pain that go kind of knock your breath. It kind of knock your breath out for a moment. You can't even say "ow."
Yes,
you're like, "Ow, man,"
Yes,
it's really funny that you say you can call me anything, but you work really hard for sensei. So I'm telling all the people out there, when you see this, man, go ahead and give them a big old how you doing, sensei, because it is important. It's not an easy feat to have that title. And like you said, that was one of the hardest things. And so since you said, I'm going to ask, why was it one of the hardest things? Can you break that down for us?
So martial arts, in my humble opinion, is an external exercise of what life is going to bring to you.
Okay.
Every day going into the dojo, when you walk on the mat, there is literally, your mind has to switch into that work mode. And you are getting either thrown, whether it's the workout, the push-ups, the squats, the burpees, whether it's you getting thrown by your instructor, whether you're getting tackled when you throwing punches. We've thrown, I remember one class we did what they call a reverse punch, which in boxing is your right cross. We threw so many, literally it felt like from the beginning of class is generally an hour, from the beginning of class to the end of the class is all we did. And it's also about fine tuning and perfecting certain things. Like, it is really, really, you're really being anal about the things that you do. And so for me, it was that physical work it was just like, man, like, what is this? And then once you got past certain breaking points, you realize, oh, okay, well, at first I didn't think I could do 10 push-ups. Then once you got to 10, you find out you can do 15. Then you're challenging yourself to do 30. So you're really starting to see, well, there is no limitations to self except for that which I put on myself. That's what martial arts helped bring to me. Also, I had a temper when I was younger. Learning how to govern and manage my emotions was crucial. My mother was afraid, because we grew up in the hood, that, hey, listen, one of two things is going to happen to him with his temper. He's either going to get locked up or he's going to get killed. It's one of those two things, unfortunately. And fortunately, knock on wood, none of those things happened to me. But my temper did get me in trouble a few times, but not so much that it was detrimental to my future. Right. And so and you learn through martial arts, you learn that, okay, I can't do these things angry. However, you also learn that your emotions, first of all, you learn your emotions are normal. You can't, if you're going to smile, you're going to smile. It's nothing wrong with it. If you're going to be angry, you're going to be angry. The thing is how do you manage it, and how can you work through it or use it to the benefit, positive. So I remember one time I was so angry, you wanted to just break something. I was just really, really, really ticked off. And what ended up happening was I went to the gym. I was about 168 pounds. I always wanted to put on some weight. Yeah. And I worked out literally every day for 6 months because I was angry. That first week just kicked off a habit. And next thing you know, I'm 190 pounds. I have the physique that I want. I'm looking like, wow. And it was honestly because I was able to manage and use my anger. So we have a philosophy that thought and action are husband and wife. It's a family affair. And with that, with your emotions shouldn't get ahead of your thoughts. Your emotions move fast. So if your thoughts are here, thoughts are slow. Emotions move fast, so your thoughts aren't going to be able to catch up to it. But if you allow your thoughts to get in front of the emotion, your emotion can push that energy of your thought further. So if you're angry and you like, you know what, I'm going to go lift weights. You're going to go lift weights. And being able to recognize that. So that's, for me, and I hope I'm making sense, for me, that's some of the riches that I got from martial arts, besides knowing how to defend myself. It also led me into other careers, security. I did security for a number of years. I literally just stopped. I worked in multiple clubs here in the city of Chicago. I worked in one of the most violent clubs in the city of Chicago. Right. If anybody lives here.
And you did some of the mayor stuff, right, too?
So yes, I worked security detail for one of the mayoral candidates who ran for mayor. She didn't get elected, but I worked her detail. Right. And the last detail I worked was for a very well-known activist who's from New York. I'm not going to say her name, but she's very well known. She's doing really good work out here. And I did her. That was the very last detail I did. So everything from working in the clubs to doing executive protection, that led me. And then it also led me into the high schools to do mentorship, teach life skills, as well as teach martial arts there. So right now in the city, I teach currently my students, they range from 2 years old up to 60 years old. So
that is so awesome. That is so
awesome. I've been able to, martial arts lets you go in different areas and different avenues. So it's the mental health field. Well, we're working on a project right now where I'm working with a couple of psychologists where we're trying to fuse martial arts and psychology and find ways that we can help those who are suffering from certain levels of mental illness. Because with boxing, they have boxing programs for people who have cerebral palsy. So, I'm sorry, not cerebral palsy. I forget what it is.
But they
that,
do have the jiu-jitsu. One for, yeah. I know that they do have jiu-jitsu for cerebral palsy, and I think that's amazing.
Yes.
They have all kinds of things.
And it works wonders.
It does.
Yes.
They say it's amazing. And what really fascinates me about what you just said, the thing that really sticks out to me, and I'm hoping everybody heard what the man said, you know, we all have anger. We all are happy. These are one of our emotions. And instead of trying to stuff them down, find a way to utilize that. That's why, listen, I was born a fighter. I was fighting. Look, I fought to brush my teeth. I was the baby. You know, I fight to get some. I was a fighter. Like I was always fighting. I was very small. I come from my mother is 6 feet tall. My shortest sister is 5'11". You know, everybody in my family are giants. And then I'm gonna just say I'm 5'4", just so I can sound tall. But I'm not. So, you know, I came in already with a chip on my shoulder because everybody was really big. So I had to come in fighting. Like I was fighting everybody. And so when I learned boxing, it was amazing. And like you said, as soon as you step into the ring for me, or like you said, step on that mat, you are no longer this, for me, I had just had a baby, you know, I'm no longer just wife and business owner. I'm a killer. You know, and that's how my trainer used to say, come on, killer, you gotta kill. And I was thinking, I didn't like that at first, but then I realized what he was saying, because I would be nice about it. You know what I mean? You know, you hit somebody and I go, oh, you all right there? Look, you don't say, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, you don't do it. It is a no-no.
It's a no-no.
I tell you, I will have a fit. If you say, I'm sorry, I will have a fit. Why you said what to me? Like,
right?
You owe push-ups if you tell me you're sorry.
Yes. So it's a whole different thing. Your mind, because our whole life, we're taught to say sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump you. I didn't mean to hit you. Sorry. So it's a whole shift, like you said, 100%. And what was crazy is that makes me think of Mike Tyson. Did you see the fight recently?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm a Mike fan.
Oh my gosh, me too. And it was so awesome. And when I think of Mike Tyson, you know, and his background, he did the same thing. You know, he had a bad temper, he had a bad upbringing, and he took this and made this amazing life out of his anger, out of his struggle, you know. And so when you say to channel that and put actions behind that thought. I love how you said that. Thought is first, because, you know, the emotion is first, and then the thought has to come behind it. You know what I mean? Which is very true. And that's what I love about martial arts, is that it does teach you a form of discipline. You got to really be disciplined.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you can really hurt somebody or get hurt.
No, it is. So a couple of things that you hit on. One, the discipline that it takes to learn this and again and live this is, you got to really be serious about it. Right. You are learning something that will not only help save your life, but could possibly take someone else's.
Right.
But what you're ultimately learning how to do is to save both lives. If there's a physical confrontation where another person wants to get in your way, you're actually learning how to save both lives. One, you don't know what that person knows. Right. And they don't know what you know. So working within the unknown, you're like, you know what? You sort of discipline yourself, you know, it's not worth it. And they can call me any name out the book. I know I'm not that. I'm not whatever it is you call me. You're probably having a bad day. You might have just lost your job. Your girlfriend or boyfriend just broke up with you. A relative could have passed away. I don't know. They didn't take their medicine, whatever it is. They didn't take their medicine. Exactly. So I have to be big enough and strong enough to be like, you know what? Let me just go ahead, subdue my passions, and let me go ahead and move on. Right. What's going to happen, though, is if you physically touch me and I have to defend myself, now I know how to play that chess game too.
Right.
And so, and once again, I'm not only saving my life, I'm going to save yours by not overdoing it. Mm-hmm. Because I put you in a position where you're at a disadvantage, I'm not going to take this strike right here. I'm not going to go ahead and hit you here or choke you or break this. I'm going to go ahead and put you in a position where I can get away, dial 911, call the authorities, file my report, whatever I need to do, and make sure you get also tend to. I'm even going to call a paramedic and an ambulance for you. Because I didn't want to hurt you. But whatever
but
reason,
you made me.
Let me go.
No.
You made me, exactly. You caused me to have to, I was just trying to go home and watch Star Wars or something.
I'm trying to watch Scooby-Doo, man. What you doing? Like
Exactly, But also on another point is most people who have a misconception about martial arts, boxing, and all of these forms of combative practices. They think that it's about being violent. And what they don't realize is that what martial arts or any form of combative arts teaches you is through violence you learn peace.
Right.
So here's the thing. I know, and this is a taboo conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, but it's an actual fact. At the moment, a friend of mine is helping me with a project. We're studying violence, and we're writing a paper on it. And we're starting from the microbiological all the way to the macro. Okay. And what you find out is it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. In your immune system right now. Mm-hmm. Your immune system. Right now, we're battling something called COVID-19. It's all around our world. We don't want to get caught. We're eating, we're taking our vitamin D3. We're taking our zinc and our vitamin C and our magnesium, and we're changing our diets, and we're trying to go outside and work out just so we can boost our immune system. Mm-hmm. Which is our war system. Just in case any foreign entity enters into our body, we have a system that literally doesn't ask no questions. It don't negotiate. It goes straight to work to eliminate. Mm-hmm. So from that to the beautiful cities that we live in, violence was used. Now we have to put some type of context to it. What type of violence was used? Okay, we had to uproot trees and soil. We didn't even care about the animals and the critters that live inside the trees and soil. They had to be uprooted. So when we talk about violence, we have to have a context to it. Everybody's violent. If there's a roach in your house, you're going to find a way to get rid of it. Whether you spray it, squash it, do something.
Stump it.
You stump it. You're going to get rid of the bugs. You're like, I ain't having these bugs in my house. So it's absolutely okay. We can't be afraid of that conversation. What martial arts does is it is truthful. It is non-forgiving. It is going to let you know up front what is real and what isn't. And then from that, you can go ahead and start making the right necessary. You can start navigating certain spaces properly. So by learning what violence is, I become more peaceful. One, I recognize my limitations. Mm-hmm. I know I said earlier you don't have any because you don't. But what I mean by my limitations is that there's always a yin and yang. I can be hurt just like this other person. And it doesn't matter if I'm a 5th, 6th, 7th, or 10th degree black belt. Mm-hmm. If I get hit with a bullet, that can end my whole existence. So I may want to be careful on where I navigate, where I go. I want to be logical. I want to be critical, use my critical thinking skills on how I handle. I had a situation yesterday where someone cut me off. I could have flipped out. And did it bother me for a second? Yeah, it was like, wow, really? They don't see me? But if I allow that to continue with that energy, I'm messing around and get into a road rage situation. I could possibly, it's a domino effect. Get into a car accident,
be shot,
get into an accident, get shot, go to jail, get killed, leave my children. So what the arts allowed me to do is to be a better chess player in life.
I like that.
That's what the arts allowed me to do.
I really like that because, it's true. A lot of times people, and we're going to talk about it. Listen, this is the platform. We're going to be 100% transparent on here because that's the only way I can do it. And my focus is all about fit. And when I say fit, I mean focus, intentional, and transforming, right? And I love that whole thing about when you decide to become a martial artist, right? Because you said you played football.
I did,
and martial arts. So you chose martial art. First of all, I want to know what made you choose that.
So this is going to sound very metaphysical. I hope I don't. So my name, Mark Quinn, it was intentional for my father to name me this. One true fact or fun fact. If you're familiar with the TV show, the old TV show 227, the writer of 227, her name was Christine Houston. Christine Houston gave my father that name to name me. And so there's two names, Mar, as in Mars, the god of war, and then Quinn. And so my name means god of war / counselor. And then as far as in the African form of spirituality, one of the African forms of spirituality referred to as Ifa, people hear about the Orishas. Ogun is considered the god of war, and Ogun would be my governing Orisha. And so I guess in some spiritual way, it was always destined for me to go in that direction.
Wow.
And it just was. So everything about martial arts, warfare, chess, combat, with any of those anything that deals in that, I'm involved in. Like right before we got on to speak, to calm myself, I do one of two things. I either do a meditation, I listen to the Tibetan bells, Tibetan bowls.
Oh, yeah.
I either listen to that or I play a chess game. So before you and I came on, I played a quick chess game. I won, by the way. I played a quick chess game, and it helps me win or lose. Chess, for some reason, helps me to relax because I have to be so. I have to think, and I have to be so analytical when I'm in my movement, and it just allows me to somewhat center myself. So anything that deals with that is just what I'm about. So what I realize is that that's what life is. Life is. That's what we navigate. We navigate negative energy. We go to work every day. We out here in the world. We have to watch out for the person that cuts us off on the road, and ultimately what you find out is that truthfully, you're only navigating yourself.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. You're really ultimately navigating yourself. And so the focus is the goal. The goal for me is to get to my destination, not the person that cut me off, not the person that just flipped me the bird, not the person that just ran in the middle of the street. You know what? Let me I see them. Let me move around them. And that's the goal. And let me address what I have to address the way it needs to be addressed, but focus on the goal. And so that's what martial arts is. That's what ultimately it is, and I hope I'm not sounding redundant, but that's exactly what this is. We have to see it for more than what it is. A lot of people think it's about punching and kicking. Hey man, he's just throwing punches and he's just doing, no, it's more than that. It's so much more. This is just the physical, this is the external manifestation of what's going on here and here. That's all it is.
Right. Yes. And that's why I say every time I think of them, I think of martial arts, and usually the people that's like your level and higher up, they usually cool guys.
Yep.
I mean, very quiet, very humble, very like, yeah, whatever. They don't look threatening at all. But let something go down. Yeah.
When I was working at the club, true story, I was the smallest guy. So now when I was working at the club, I was about 205. Right now I'm at 225. So,
and how tall are you?
I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2".
Okay.
So, what happened is that, I work at the club and all the other securities around me are like 6'4", almost 7 feet, and they're swole. They mean just muscles or just big.
Right.
And I always smile. I'm always saying, hello, sir. Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. Right. No, ma'am. My father was a Southern guy. I went to military school. I also, in the dojo, you had to say, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Right.
So I'm always that. Because I was the smallest guy in the club, I would purposely wear a suit because suits command a certain level of presence, a certain presence, and a certain level of
respect.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so even when the other security wouldn't, I would always wear a suit. And when I would go to ask someone, can you take your hood off? You mind taking your hood off? There's no hoods or no hats allowed in the club, and I greet them with a smile. They would always figure out a way, you know what, we can check him or we can bully him or because I was the smallest.
Yeah.
And then when the big guys come around, they be like, oh, we ain't got no problem, you take it off. But then then sometimes someone would make the unfortunate mistake of putting their hands on me. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm a tough guy. I have never had a situation where I was at disadvantage, though it can happen. I'm not saying it can't. But unfortunately, they would find out, like, okay, he may be smaller than everybody in stature, but he's just as big as everybody in his confidence and in his skill level. So, that also is what led me to getting more jobs, because some of the owners would be like, oh, he can actually handle himself. Mm-hmm. So then they were like, hey, I want you to work. You mind working at this club? And then that would have me making more money. So, I'm not trying to, glorify violence in that regard, but it did help. Yeah.
Correct. It does. And that's what I say, we're going to be truthful here with the truth, because a lot of times I literally just said earlier, because I'm the smallest, they always pull my card. Like, my family are big. Yeah. They've never had to fight. They never had to fight. And I had to fight all the time. And they were just intimidating in their size. So nobody messed with them. But they said, oh, she's little. And then they soon to realize, like, no, don't mess with Little Bit. She crazy. Like, Little Bit crazy.
And after a while, the psychological aspect. So one thing I love about this is that after a while, you receive a positive reputation, either through people seeing me compete in karate or kickboxing tournaments or boxing, or they've actually seen me get into a physical confrontation outside in the real world. This reputation of, hey, he knows how to handle himself. Mm-hmm. He's a good brother. Yeah. Just leave him alone.
That's right.
I do my best to serve my community as best as I can.
Yes.
Just to send a shout out to some of the guys that I work with every night. I don't know if you know, but every night we go out and we do a community patrol. Every night.
I did not know. Tell us.
Yeah, I live in the Bronzeville community in Chicago, and every night we go out, a group of black men, and we go out and we patrol our communities. And I wanted to make sure that I put the emphasis on a group of brothers that go out in the neighborhood to make and we monitor all activities. So we monitor the police activity. We monitor anything that goes on. If we can de-escalate things peacefully, we will. We make sure that the elders get home safe. We make sure no women on the bus stops are being accosted. We make sure that everything in the neighborhood is cool every night. And then we document, report, and then go home back to our families. We do that every single night, do our best to serve our community. So we do that, as well as we have a free program every Saturday at the Garvey Center here in Bronzeville, where the children get to learn about who they are. They get to learn free martial arts. They get free reading and mathematics classes. So we have a whole program and network. And a lot of the guys that come out at night, they're also martial artists. So just trying to, this also helps us to know how to serve. Being a martial artist, people live and fantasize about that whole samurai lifestyle. But the actual word samurai means to serve. So if I'm going to actually be that, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm really internalizing and living this, then I need to be this. And I'm going to just be a vessel for the work. So we go out every night, we do that, we serve, we mentor, we do the work that we try to do. So I just want to give a shout out to those individuals that help me, and we team up together, and
really
I appreciate
it. That's a really good thing, because we've had them what's the guy, Zingerman, whatever, he neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
We don't need that
George
no more.
Zimmerman,
yes. Well, we would really prefer you guys out there. That means a lot. I'm sure the city feels safer and comfortable, and I mean, that's priceless right there, to feel safe in your own
some of the people
environment.
The people that we serve, they definitely have said that they really would like to see this grow more. We mostly are within the Bronzeville community. We do go into other neighboring neighborhoods like Hyde Park, Kenwood. The furthest we've gone to is South Shore, but we generally try to focus in Bronzeville. And it's time to change the narrative. There's a narrative. This is also martial arts. I want people to hear that this is also martial arts. There's always been a narrative that Black men are not in the household, they're not family men, or they're not in the community. And the fact of the matter is that we are, and that we are there. You know, I have a beautiful family. I have 4 wonderful children.
What's the ages?
Yeah, they are. Oh my goodness. 11, 5, 2, and 1.
Oh my God.
3 girls, 1 boy. And the boy happens to be the youngest. So,
he rotten. Yeah. It's over. Oh my God.
His sisters spoil him. His grandmother, his mother, he is
going to be rotten to the core. It's like, too bad for the women out there. You already know. You've been warned. You have been warned.
Especially by his youngest sister, his youngest sister who's 2. She's very protective.
Oh my
At
gosh.
2, extremely. She doesn't even want her other sisters hugging on him. Like, don't touch him. She'll say, "Hey, don't touch him. That's enough. Don't touch him." And so I'm like, I fear for the girl that tries to date this boy. But we want to make sure that we change that narrative, and we want to make sure that we give our young men that which was given to us. Martial arts is the reason why I do this. The men in that dojo were servicemen to their community.
Right.
So they instilled not only the ability for me how to defend myself physically, how to think, do my best to think critically, and to govern emotions, but to also go out and serve. This isn't about you, man. This is a bigger collective. Wow. If I don't look out for you, then what can possibly happen to me? It's a butterfly effect. So we have to be looking out for one another. That's the whole purpose of what we do.
You know, that is so awesome to hear because, you know, a lot of times people do just glorify the nunchucks. Like if I could be, I would be doing them nunchucks I would be doing it right now. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna send you a pair. I got a pair for you.
I'm gonna be like, yeah. Maybe like
I got a training pair back here. I'm gonna send you a pair. They're gonna be. I'm telling you, I'm gonna send you a pair. So when we get off here, I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna mail you. I'm gonna send you a pair.
Okay, cool. Because the next time we talk, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, Sensei? How you doing? Huh? What's going on?" You know what's so crazy is, you know, and a lot of times we don't think of the women who do martial arts, and they are badass. Like, wow, badass. And I think I'm pretty badass. But
listen.
They are
every Tuesday.
Badass.
You want to see some sisters every Tuesday and Wednesday here. So we have a women's self-protection program that we do every Tuesday and Wednesday here. And I had the fortunate pleasure of co-hosting the largest women's self-defense workshop in the country 5 years ago. It was in Hyde Park. We had close to 200 women show up. I mean, we had a line. You would have thought it was giving away Beyonce tickets. And every Tuesday, Thursday, they do hand-to-hand combat. And then we take them to the range every Monday and Wednesday. So they learn how to use firearms as well as edge weapons. Edge weapons meaning knives. So, so let me tell you, I would much rather have one well-trained woman than 3 average men.
Right. I listen.
I just much rather have it because women are way more creative when it comes to defending themselves. If they're educated in an actual delivery system,
yes,
their creativity outweighs men. So men automatically want to do this. Man, what's up? Let's fight. If they want to fight?
Right.
Nowadays, guys go get a gun, but women will take them earrings off. They will grab the nearest object. They will grab the nearest object, size them up, pull hair, claw, scratch, bite. They're trying to fight. Men are trying to prove a point. Men are trying to prove a point. Women are trying to fight. They like, I'm going to end this. I'm not playing with you. So women are, in my personal opinion, the better fighters, the better of the two.
I agree. And I agree. And I'm not saying that because I am a woman, but I agree with that because we are thinkers. You said it
Yes.
straight. You guys, my husband was a wrestler. He did it for the Olympic team, and he's just really like, and he think he's the shiznit. He do. So like when we first got married, he gonna try to prove stuff. Like you can't get out this headlock. Ha ha ha. I bet you can't get out. And I bit him. And he's like, that's cheating. And I was like, no, I'm out.
No, that's winning.
Thank you. I'm out. That's all I know is I'm out. And so he told everybody that she cheats. And I said, there's no cheating. I just outthink. He expect me to try to do a move and to do this. And it's like, no. Women are thinkers.
The goal was to get out.
Thank you. And why he was like, ow, I was like, I'm out,
And that's the purpose of our class, to show them the creativity when it comes to, if you have to use violence as a tool to save your life. To save your life, hear me clear. If you have to use violence as a tool to save your life, then being skilled and having a vision and being creative is crucial. That's women all day.
Right.
So a woman will recognize this man is 300 pounds. He's 6'4", and I can't beat him. However, when he walk in the house, I'm going to hit him with this pot of grease, which is going to go ahead and bring him down to about 5'1", and then I'm going to go ahead, kick him in his balls, and then I'm going to run out that door, call 911.
That's exactly. Sensei, you were right on it. We think it through. I have already thought all of the moves that I'm going to do, because if I hit you here, you're going to fall like this, then I'm going like this, then I'm, and I think it's because I am not a big girl. I've never been. So I have to use this versus this, right? I mean, I'm strong, but this is strong. So
it's always here.
Yeah, your mind is always the driver of your body, because that's what's in charge right there. And when we talk about how women learn the skills, what do you think is the best martial art class for women? Because I just saw, we all watched enough.
It's the same. So what I'm gonna tell you is gonna be the same for men.
Okay.
Find a good boxing program and find a good grappling program, whether it's Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, some form of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I like Krav Maga. I like Krav. However, I would much rather them learn once you learn how to box well, and you learn how to stop someone from taking you down, or you learn how to get up off the ground or prevent takedowns, you're way more dangerous than most people.
Gotcha.
Way more. And as a matter of fact, if you do some research, you'll see some military men. There are some that take Krav, but you'll see some guys who are very experienced that say, you know what, after everything that I've learned, find you a good boxing program and a good wrestling program or grappling program.
Grappling.
So so for my ladies, learn how to, work those hands. Definitely learn how to grapple and wrestle. A man having you on the ground, men think, okay, I won. One, they think, okay, and I'm not trying to be vulgar, but hey, I'm going to get in between the legs.
Yes.
I'm going to get in between the legs. Yeah. I'm already halfway there. And they may not know that, okay, they're in trouble at this point. And you being able to recognize the position you're in and the advantages you have is a plus for you. And knowing how to get up from there and get away is a huge benefit and a plus. So any form of jiu-jitsu, as far as grappling, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling, maybe like Roman Greco, like maybe your husband took, all those things are absolutely is crucial. And a good boxing program. The knees, the elbow strikes, the kicks, all that's the dessert. That's dessert. But your steak and potatoes, your main course, knowing how to punch, or knowing how to go ahead and throw them palm heels or whatever, and knowing how to stop somebody from taking you down is crucial. Everything else will just complement that. Because even if I know how to box well, everything else is going to complement it. My elbows are going to come next, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to throw elbows, my knees. I'm going to be able to do all of that. You know, if I know how to frame, which means somebody runs up on me and I frame them and I stop them and I come underneath the frame with an uppercut or a shot, that's the wrestling and the boxing combined. Nothing beats it. So for my ladies, also, one other thing, go take a firearms class.
Oh, yeah.
Go take a firearms class, find a qualified instructor, and understand this. It's about quality, not quantity. I don't care if he has 50 participants in his class. That doesn't mean he's a great instructor. That just means that his prices might have been affordable. Find you a quality instructor. Find a quality instructor and learn how to also use firearms. What I see now, I go before this month, I was in the range literally every day. I probably shot about 2,000 rounds a week. And I take a tactical class every week. Excuse me. I saw the women coming into the range more and more, like I've never seen before. And then what I started noticing, even to this day, last time I went to the range was about 3 days ago, and majority of the lanes were filled with women. Yeah. So women are learning. But what I do notice also is that what they'll do is they'll purchase or rent a firearm, and they're not getting educated. They're just, you know, they may get some tips while they're at the range, but they're not being properly trained. Right. No, invest your money, find a quality instructor, go and learn that. And when it comes to work, but here's the other thing. The reason why I want you to know both how to work your body physically as well as the firearm is because the firearm isn't a 100% surefire way. Somebody grabs you, prevents you from being able to get to your weapon or any of those things. How do you get out of it?
And that was my next question.
How do you get out of it? So how do you get out of that? You know, how do you deal with someone coming up behind you and bear hugging you? I have one of my students, she's a dancer. She says that guys like to grab her all the time, you know, and she's a professional dancer. And so guys will grab her just because, you know, just hook her by the tricep or whatever and be like, hey. And when she started taking class and learning how to just be like, excuse me, you know, and she does it real gently. She'll move her arm, excuse me, she knows how to do that. You know, guys grab her, she knows how to break the grip, and, you know, and then security will come and escort the guy out or something. So, but before that, she said she didn't even think to her. She was snatched possibly, but they would go with her. They just hold her, but now she knows how to do certain things and prevents that. You know, so learn. And here's also the other benefit, ladies. You will get in some serious shape. You talk about your core getting tight. Man, those arms toning, legs and your glutes, all that, man, you will be surprised on how much shape you get in.
I really believe that boxing is the best workout for women because it works every muscle from your head to your toes. It works your whole body. I mean, it is the best. I love it. I love it. You know, and that's some, you are saying some real stuff, Sensei, because I forgot about weapons training. I'm from the country, so I learned how to shoot out on the farm, hunting, and doing those things. And that's another thing. So when I first, you know, met my husband, he was a former law enforcer and he had his little guns and he had it locked up. And I said, well, if I'm home by myself, you got to let me have the code so I can, you know, oh, no, you cannot have the code. Why can't I have the code? Like, what if you're at work? Because he works a lot. Like, you at work. What if I'm at home? I need to protect myself. Dial 911. I'm like, okay. So then we go to the range. I thought that he perhaps thought I couldn't shoot. So he was trying to save me, right? So he would say, well, I'm going to do a kidney shot. And go, bow. And I said, ooh, me too. Bow. He looked at me. He's like, I'm going to do a headshot. I was like, ooh, me too. Bow. And then I was so proud of myself since I was showing him that I can handle a weapon. So give me the code, right? And he was like, hell no, I'm not giving you the code. First of all, you accurate and crazy. That's too dangerous. And I thought that was so funny.
He saving himself. He protected himself. He protected himself. That's what he's doing. He's like, I'm not going.
But we do love going to the range. It is important to stay on that. And now, in this day and this time, woo, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The concealed weapons permits are so hard to get now. Ammo is low. Because we are in a time that is so important. Listen, guys. Sensei have given you so much information that we should be implementing now. Now is the time because it's scary out there. I mean, things are happening that we've never seen in our lifetime, you know, and they're not playing with us. You know.
No, listen, we got to train. I started teaching my daughter, my 11-year-old, I started teaching her how to shoot at 10. Mm-hmm. She was already familiar with my firearms in the house at a younger age.
Yeah.
She knew not to touch them and everything.
Absolutely.
I explained to her what they were. I started teaching her how to drive at 10.
Yeah.
Just different things that she may need in order for our survival. Right. If something's happening, I have to protect her, and I'm disabled. I can't drive, and we just need to get some space. She knows how to drive in a straight line, She knows how to stop at the stop sign. She knows how to control the steering wheel and the brake. Hey, take us 3 blocks away. And she knows, okay, I'm driving 3 blocks away. She's 11 now, 3 blocks away. If the police stop us, hey,
my daddy's hurt.
Let me handle it. My daddy's hurt. Let me handle that. I told my daughter, even if I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to get in trouble. But I'd much rather get in trouble and deal with the court than... Correct. You know what I mean? So, hey, babe, listen, drive 3 blocks away. Mm-hmm. You know, if I've done something where I had to defend us and I'm hurt, she knows how to do that. If I'm in the house and someone breaks in and I'm tussling with them, I know how to tell my daughter, hey, there's a special word we use when she knows to go get my firearm.
Right.
She knows how to hold it. She's known how to use it. She knows how to shoot. If she needs to, or if she needs to get it to me because she's in a space where, and I'm tussling with somebody, she knows how, okay, I can get this. So my daughter learns that. She does. She definitely learns firearms training. She has an instructor as well. I have 3 instructors. I put up 2, but I have 3 instructors, 3 firearms instructors. As well as, even though I'm a sensei, I have senseis. I have a Muay Thai coach. I have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor. I have a Sambo coach. I have 2 boxing coaches. So I am still very much so involved. One thing I would say, and I want to make sure I say this before I get off, I am always a student. So although I may be sensei and we started white belt and, they say we ended black, but there's no end. I am, and will forever be a white belt, meaning I will forever be a student. We will always be. Matter of fact, we're going to be students until the day we die because we're never going to know everything. Right. So I'm going to be 60 years old, 50 years old, 60 or 70 years old with a sensei, with an instructor, with a coach. Mm-hmm. So, and so even if that, hey, he's a world champion. I got my first world title in 2002. I got multiple national titles. That don't mean nothing. There's always a bigger fish. There's always something that I don't know and I need to learn. Right. So, the same thing with my children. So
that's a good point to bring up too, because where can we find you? How can we tell us the name of your studio, where we can follow you, stay connected, and learn these things?
Yes, so if you're on Facebook, you can find me in my name, Marquin McDonald, which is spelled MarQuinn. Last name is McDonald, McDonald. It is spelled the same way for my Instagram page. My school is Quantum Martial Arts and Fitness. You can reach me at our email address, which is quantummarts, QUANTUMMARTS@gmail.com. Or you can go on our website, which is www.qmartialarts.com. And anyone can reach me through those sites.
Yeah, we really appreciate it because, you have given us so much information that is so necessary. I mean, listen, the number one thing you said today for me is that through violence, we find peace. Which is like, wow, that's right there is like, you know.
It really makes you think.
It makes you think.
Makes you think. It really does. And it is, I will debate with anyone on it. It is the absolute fact. Through me going through all of the pain, the sweat, the tears, and even some of the blood that I've shed as far as learning what I've learned inside of the space, I've learned how to become more peaceful. So, and you learn that through everything else. Like, for example, we talked about those bugs in your house. The minute you clear all them out and you don't see any more for, oh man, it's been a month, I haven't seen it. You like, whoo, okay, we got that over with.
Right.
And infestation is gone. I ain't got that beehive no more. I ain't worried about getting stung. I don't have a virus anymore. I don't have the flu. I don't have pneumonia. And the medicine and your immune system violently kicked out and destroyed all of that.
Right.
And removed that negativity that was trying to take you down. You found your peace. I know, I'm not saying go out and beat up anybody. What I'm saying is, ultimately, you find out that the violence the war that you have to go into is the war with self. So, martial arts teaches you how to deal with that. And if there's anything external that you have to deal with, you know how to navigate it, especially through you being peaceful. Because if you two jumbled up and cloudy with all the stress and trauma and anxiety going on, you can't really navigate the spaces out here in the world the way you need to.
Right.
And then you'll end up blaming others because your goals aren't getting accomplished. When the truth is, no, it's you. It's me.
Right.
My goals don't get accomplished because of me. There may be walls and obstacles, but that's the reason why I have my limbs. I can climb that wall and get over it, or I can knock the wall down, or I can go around it. I can take a step back and leap forward. So all of these things have to deal with myself. And through understanding self first, then I can start, working externally and navigating the spaces externally and making sure that I reach the levels of success that I need. So that's what a martial artist, the definition of a martial artist here in my school is one who makes adjustments. And that's what we are, adjustment makers. We're problem solvers.
That's a drop mic moment right there. Because,
you're
like, boom, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out, because it's true. We all have to make adjustments in our life. And how great would you feel if you had just a little bit more knowledge behind the decisions that we make? So, just to recap the things he said, because I'm telling you, I'm challenging everybody who's listening today to go out and try one of these things. And saying that to say, before I do the recap, how are you doing with the pandemic? How are people still doing martial arts? How are things happening now in the pandemic?
So we're coming up on our year. So the business has been open for 5 years, but the brick and mortar here in downtown Chicago has been open for a year. February 8th will make a year. Okay. Before the pandemic, it was on point. We had to make some serious adjustments. So what we've been doing is teaching virtually. And then when we were allowed to allow people to come back in, our classes are limited. So we usually don't have no more than 5 people on the floor. Okay. And then we have just different class times. And so if anyone wants to come in, they have to wear a mask. They have to get their temperature checked. They have to go through the whole screen, and then they can work out. Everybody's 6 feet apart. But they can also work in the comforts of their home by doing one of our Zoom classes. And so we have that option as well.
And we can find the Zoom classes on your website?
So yeah, you can just contact us or email us, and then we'll give you all the information and then send you the link, and you can check it out.
I'm in class. I'm ready right now.
Come on now.
I'm gonna do my nunchucks. I have a feeling I'm gonna be the first one to get kicked out of class. Elizabeth, cut your thing off. Cut your scream off, baby. Cut your scream off. Like, okay, I'm gonna be good. But listen, I really sincerely thank you for coming out. I mean, he taught us so much in this short period of time. Women, make sure you go out. He says, start with the basics, boxing, some kind of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, grappling kind of thing, and firearms. That was the 3 things that he suggested for us to try. And even men, all of it, because not all men know how to shoot a gun. Not all men know how to defend themselves in combat. So, I really...
It's for men and women. Don't be egotistical. Don't have an ego. It's for both of us. Go out and get some form of training. Get educated in it, because it can definitely help benefit you, not just in the time of being combative physically, but in just everyday life. So this is, and another thing that I like to shout out, mental health. If you, man, listen, if you can find a program that also has a mental health component infused with it, you are in the best hands. Because with what's going on out here, especially with COVID or what goes on in our communities, we're dealing with a lot of anxiety, trauma. People are dealing with cabin fever from being inside their homes all the time. They can't get out, do what they normally do. So we have to, our overall health all around has to be tended to and maintained. We need maintenance here, as well as our bellies, as well as our diet, as well as our muscles. It's all connected.
Right.
So,
I say it all the time, mind first. Your body can do anything that your mind tell it to. So if you're not feeding your mind right, and you're not getting that right, man, just imagine your body's all wonky and really, it's just crazy. So, taking care of your mind is very important. And thank you again. I mean, really, I feel all hyped up. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is it. You guys, go out, follow him, get on that website, take some classes, learn to really focus in and get that discipline that is well needed at all times, and just, again, I'm challenging everybody. Take one step, try one thing that he suggested today, and then let us know. You got his Facebook. Go ahead and hook me up on my Facebook. Tell us all, what are you going to try? We want to know it. Let's dig deep. We're here for you. Okay? So, till next week, stay fit.